So I thought I'd do something vloggy, like a list. I watch a lot of horror films, so it's a horror film list, except you wouldn't have seen these before. And to be honest, I'd be really surprised if you've even heard of them. Okay, first one. Dans ma peau is a French film about a woman who discovers that she has a craving for her own flesh. So the director, Marina Devant, she is the lead in the film, and she's amazing in it. Like, she totally sells the idea that she's addicted to eating her own skin. And that's what this film's about. It's about addiction, and even though the thing that she's addicted to is so extreme, it works. You can totally relate to her, and by the end, you're just itching for her to do it. There's this amazing dinner table scene where she's clearly dying to take a bite from her own hand, and it's excruciating. And that's what I love about horror so much. It forces us to explore these elements of the human condition that are so fucking abhorrent, but they exist. We're the monsters, really, but sometimes we need to see a woman cut a chunk of flesh from her own arm and chew on it to really get that. So, Tower of Fear is an old film. This is my dad's copy. He wasn't obsessed with films the way Jack was, but he loved a good car boot sale. So he'd always bring home these like weird films on VHS, and this is one of them. It's Boris Karloff, okay, and he plays this rich English guy, but there's something wrong with his land, like people keep dying on it. Possibly due to the fact that his ancestors built this huge phallic fucking tower as some kind of monument to long forgotten gods. One of the victims turns out to be the brother-in-law of Bela Lugosi. So suddenly fucking Dracula himself turns up to check it out. I mean, obviously he's not playing Dracula, but it's Lugosi, so he basically is. It's kind of like The Black Cat, but the whole thing has this weird atmosphere to it. So there aren't really any monsters in it. There's just these shadows that turn up when someone's about to die, and the way it's shot is really, really creepy. So there's this moment at the end where the shadows come, and Karloff thinks they're going after Lugosi, but they come after him instead. And it's fucking terrifying. Like, I've never really been scared of the dark, but this film makes me afraid to turn the lights off at night. Kakashi is kind of like a Japanese version of The Wicker Man, but 100 times creepier. It's based on a story by Junji Ito, who wrote Uzumaki. Like, if you're into manga, fuck all that giant robot shit and schoolgirls being raped by tentacles. Uzumaki is the only manga you would ever need to read. Anyway, this film is about a woman whose brother goes missing. So she goes to this weird little village in the mountains to look for him. But it turns out this village is where people go to resurrect their long-lost loved ones as living scarecrows. Now, why the fuck you would want to do that, I don't know, but they do. So half the people in the village are scarecrows. Like, they look normal, but they're actually made of straw. There's this one scene where this young girl is resurrected as a scarecrow, and it's probably the most terrifying fucking thing I've ever seen in a film. And then the ending made me cry. So there's that. Okay, Venus Drowning. So I could do a whole video about the films of Andrew Parkinson, and he's only made 3 of them. So this is his 3rd feature, and it's really fucking odd. So it's about this woman who is driven to suicide by all the shitty things that happen to her in the first 5 minutes. But she decides that a holiday on the Norfolk coast is better than slitting her wrists, so she goes there instead. So she's out walking on the beach one day, and she comes across this creature. It's kind of half fish, half human fetus. Oh, and it has a vagina for a mouth. She decides to take this creature home because, you know, like reasons. And she discovers 2 things. So 1, it secretes an addictive substance that gets you incredibly high. And 2, in order to produce this substance, it has to feed on human orgasms. I could literally sit here and describe the whole plot of this film to you. Because fuck yes, it gets weirder from there. But that's not the point. I've rewatched Venus Drowning a dozen times to try and figure out what it's all about. And sometimes I wonder if it's a joke. Like, someone dared Parkinson to make a deadly serious version of Frank Henenotter's brain damage. You know what? Actually, I think it's about how sex isn't as emotionally fulfilling as you want it to be. Like, as much as you want to fuck the pain away and it feels like a great idea at the time, it doesn't work and it just messes things up even more. I don't know. You should watch it. Because I can't help thinking there's just more to it than that. So that's my list. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm supposed to have stuff. Please like, comment and subscribe. Thank you to everyone who's sent me questions. I'll be doing a Q&A next week.